that are associated with this film today. I'm Claudia Quake, by the way, and we have co-writer Andrew LANHAM. And actress KARAN Kendrick, who plays Minnie. Composer Joel P. West. Wonderful actor Rob Morgan. Film editor Nat Sanders. Certainly not least, JAMIE FOXX. Thank you so much, all of you, for this wonderful and inspiring film. This is something we so need right now, and you all just did such a wonderful job in every aspect. I'll start with Jamie. I wanted to ask you,
just a second, let me get myself together. I just got the tie covered. I don't know what's going on with me.
It all looks good.
Thank you.
People of color suffer far too many wrongful arrests and mass incarcerations. And I see this film as being about ultimately how justice wins and fairness wins and freedom rises, about how good people do the right thing and ultimately prevail. It's a very inspiring movie and has the potential to change minds and hearts. Thank you for making this, and I've heard of films being referred to as empathy machines. I think Roger Ebert said that. Is that what drew you to the part of Walter McMillan? Was it the theme of justice, or what specifically drew you to this film and to this part?
Well, I thank you for that. I think it's a combination of things. First of all, the people that were involved. Michael B. Jordan, I can't say enough about him on camera and behind camera, putting this together. And also with Brian Stevenson's story, it's amazing. But the reason that it's something that you do is because there's so much work left. There's so much work to try to change perception. I mean, Walter McMillan is guilty of our perception. I mean, when you see a black man. Unfortunately, that was 1986, and still now today, when you see a black man, what is it that makes people feel the way they do? I used to do a joke called "Phew, Phew," and what that was, I was in Chicago, and I was in a hotel. It was, very well-to-do, mostly white people in the hotel. And I get in the, can they turn this over? I get in the elevator, and I have my hoodie on, right? And I have my hoodie on, but when I get in the elevator, it's mostly white people in the elevator, and they sort of scurry to the corner, and oh, shoot, Carolyn, Carolyn, I don't know, whatever. I was like, right? And then finally someone had enough courage to lean over and look beyond the hoodie and saw that it was me, and they went, oh, it's JAMIE FOXX. It's like, it was so relief. It's a joke, but at the same time, we're trying to get that perception changed. Walter McMillan, the minute he's seen, guilty of his perception and guilty of the ease of what we feel that a black man did it. We're able to sort of accept that. And so taking on this film, we want to try to open that up. And open it up in a universal way. This film tested in front of an all-black audience, a 97, which we hope that would happen. And then we tested it in front of an all-white audience. And I was like, man, what they say? It tested at a 98. So that is a testament to all of the great people here, Michael B. Jordan, Destin, who put it together now. I think we all feel great about it.
Karan, I wanted to ask you, because it's so rare that Hollywood really has complex female characters, and you got to play somebody who was allowed a lot of complexity. And I wanted to ask about the concept of forgiveness, because it's easy to champion somebody who's blameless, but she champions her husband after, or is right there for him after he had cheated on her, but she knows that he was an innocent man wronged. And how did you feel about playing that character, and what drew you to playing her?
When I saw Minnie McMillan's image, when I saw the video of her after he has been released, after he's been exonerated, when I read the script and it was all there, I leapt at the opportunity to share a woman in a way. First of all, I felt like I knew her. When I saw her, I immediately saw my grandmother. I saw my aunts and my mom and the women in my community who understand the importance of choosing to love. Love is a choice. She doesn't do what she feels, she does what she must do. So when I saw her, I saw that. And I just wanted to share her in a way that was complex, that was human. She's strong, but she's also afraid. I think it's important that she stand in the space where she stands, because it kind of opens the door. It kind of lets other people know that it's okay to support him. I support him, I love him, I forgive him, I'm standing for him. So it's okay for you to do that. It's okay for you to show up. It's okay for you to testify. It's okay, and I think Minnie, her presence stands in that gap and fills that space and lets the people know it's okay. And to your point, I had not seen a Southern Black woman be able to be herself. She was able to stand 10 toes down in all of her, we use my hair. But yes. She was able to stand 10 toes down in her press and curl. Blue Magic, I went and got me some Blue Magic for the audition. But she was able to be fully who she was without apology, and to stand in love, for love. And I just felt that, it was such a wonderful, thank you for these words. It was such a wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Well, since you brought up his words, I wanted to ask you about that wonderful speech that Michael B. Jordan gives in the courtroom. How much of that was actually in the original book written by Brian Stevenson, and how much of that was yours, and how did it feel it must have felt like a bit of a challenge to take somebody who is living and create this character based on somebody whose work is so impressive.
Pretty much all of the words, especially in the speeches at the end of the movie, are directly from Brian. It's interesting with some projects, it's about how you bring your voice as a writer to it, and with others, especially in adaptation, it's about how you can try to assist in bringing someone else's voice to the screen. Obviously, this film isn't my personal experience, but because of my working relationship and friendship with Destin, I really felt like I was well suited to help bring his vision to the screen. And I think Brian believed that the humanist message of Destin's movies, where I think he really tends to care deeply about giving voice to people who are voiceless in many ways. I think Brian, the power of Brian's book is that it's not completely about Bryan Stevenson. It's about all of the people who he's representing and all of the stories that he's trying to tell. He uses himself as a vehicle to teach you about the system and the mistakes that we need to work harder at fixing. So I never would have taken the project if I didn't think I could put my own voice aside as completely as possible in service of trying to help bring his voice to life. He also should probably get like a co-writer credit because he gave us notes, many notes on every, even down to like the tiniest word choices. So he was there kind of holding our hands through every step of the process before testimony.
He was on set.
I don't know, I don't think he was on set all the time, but he was there while we were writing it. We would.
He was there in the spirit.
Yeah, he was there in the
It was
spirit.
I'd say that.
Rob, I wanted to ask you that because your role is so gut-wrenching, the range of emotions that your character goes through. And that execution scene must have been incredibly emotionally challenging to do. What did you draw upon to play Herbert Richardson?
Oh man, just growing up black in America. I'll give y'all a second to clap that out. But we get so much information that every other person, every other man don't get as a black man in this society. You're guilty the time you're born, oftentimes. With this particular case, I was honored to be asked to play Herbert Richardson because it gave me a chance to give a voice to a voiceless character that is existing, but we all have a tendency to forget about or don't even hone into, unless Bryan Stevenson sacrifices his life and write this brilliant book called Just Mercy, which was like the Bible for me doing this film because I only had 2 pictures to work off of for Herbert Richardson. So I would stare into his pictures and just stare into his eyes, and then understanding his story from the book, how this young man, before he even got his first kiss from a girl, is enlisted in the war. He goes over there and has these traumatic experiences in war, the only one to survive, come back, get affection from a young woman, but all of a sudden her and her family ups and leaves. So what does he do? He follows her, right? Because he loves. That's love. That's his first sign of affection from a woman. Gets down there, in his mind, he's thinking, all right, how do I convince this woman that I'm the love of her life? So I create this bomb, place it by her door. When she gets it, it detonates. I swoop in and save her. She'll be mine for the rest of my life. Now, this is a man, that's how he's been programmed to think. Because after war, you come back to this country, you don't have help as far as mental support, you don't have a lot of social support, and you're left at your own vices, you know what I mean? In a lot of cases. But for Herbert Richardson, I downloaded that kind of mindset. And then just, like Jamie was alluding to, as far as just all of us being so connected, what that brother did over there, unfortunately, for some reason, if it's negative, I'm walking down the street minding my business, the cops running up on me. You know what I mean? It's like we all get the stigma regardless. This man could be at a gas station in his Lamborghini truck and still get, harassed by the police. And this is a man that is very secure in our society and well known. So imagine.
And the truck was nice.
That's real though. So imagine an everyday brother that just walking down the street.
But it's true. It's like, we were talking about this yesterday. It's like 2 days ago, I'm riding a very nice truck, it was a Lamborghini. I mean, I was feeling white. I feel white. I feel white in this Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini happens to be white. So I was like, I'm double white. I pull up at the gas station feeling safe, and a police officer on a bike pulls over, and he sees me, and I speak to him. He's at the gas station. I speak to him. So I say, hey, how are you? And I thought for sure he knows me because I'm Jamie. Does he not have the box set at work?
If you
You're not seen in living color.
I mean, I see movie call. I offered to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake hands. I was like, cool. All right, whatever he's going through. But it takes 2 minutes to fill up your motorcycle bike. It takes me at least 8 to 10 minutes to fill up mine. He sat there like this with it, watching me. That's all good. He's with me. He's sitting with me. So we're watching it, and now here we go. Now automatically the hairs, get up on our back because like, what the fuck, what could happen? And then all of a sudden, a Mexican kid walks up and says, "Hey, Jamie Foxx, what's up, bro?" And the cops sort of went. I say it as a joke, but at the same time, it's every single day. You would trip out to live inside of us sometimes because, and what's interesting and what's great about Brian Stevenson is the fact that he continues to ring that bell. He continues to say that it's still off, while sometimes we become fatigued. Maybe it's too much. You guys are complaining too much. But as you can see in this movie, the perceptions can be detrimental.
He continues to work with Equal Justice Initiative in Alabama now, right? Yeah. You grew up in the South, Jamie. You grew up in Texas. So how did that help inform playing this role too?
Well, different from, I'm not for sure where everybody was from, but me being from Texas, of course, there is a racial component in Texas, where I'm from, Terrell, Texas. I don't know if you know where that is, but it was the only city when a guy by the name of, I believe the name was Barack Hussein Obama became president. It was the only city that didn't put him on the front of the newspaper. So everybody rushed to the newspaper, whether you voted for him or not. It's a keepsake, right? Not on the front. When CNN interviewed them, they said, "Why didn't you put him on the front of the newspaper?" He said, "Well, listen, we run a newspaper, not a scrapbook." And so, I still love where I'm from, though. I still love the fact that it's not just those people.
With a massive question, just hanging out there.
Sure.
If you're a fan, you're in the right place.
Are you from Terrell? But I was able to understand what this really is, especially the southern part of it. Even when it just came to southern things, the way he spoke, going through, being from Terrell, here is her and there is there, and just different things that you understand what I'm saying? And then having things happen to me. My father, they put him in jail for $25 worth of illegal substance for 5 to 7 years. This man was an educator for 25 years in the most hood, underprivileged city in Dallas, Texas. All he did was dedicate his life to teaching young black men. He taught black studies. He would even keep the gym open on Saturday and Sunday so they could have a place to come to and not be in the street. And now here he is in a jail cell with some of the kids that he taught. And my experience with that is what I drew on. And I didn't want to visit him in jail because that was my thing. I never visit anybody. I don't ever want to see nobody like that. And this man, he taught me. The man taught me how to play tennis. We were the only black, father-son tennis team in Texas in that city. I said, "Why tennis?" He said, "I want you to know all of it." He taught me how to swim. So I want you to know all of it. And I wrote him one letter. I said, "Hey, listen, you get it together, you come live with me." Now I say black, and he's been living with me, and I got a chance to take him to the U.S. Open. And him watch.
Has he seen this film?
He just saw it because he's in the audience.
That's what attracted me to this, because one, we see these black men in these terrible circumstances, but at the same time, you can't help but get in touch with their humanity and them being human beings and desiring and wanting love and affection and wanting to be seen and noticed, even though they're in these circumstances. Got this brother sharing real human stories like that. You know what I mean? And hopefully this conversation can continue. You know what I mean? Thank you for sharing that.
That's what struck me so much about the three of you, the roles that you played in prison there. You see the humanity and the depth of their characters. So many times we see sort of stereotypical prisoners or just very limited, one-dimensional figures, and you all had so much depth. And as a writer, did you feel that that was something you really wanted to focus on? Andrew?
Yes. I think the genius of Brian's message is that it gives representation and teaches about the things that need to change in our system and our society. He also delivers it in a way that's palatable for, I think, your average white middle-class American viewer anywhere in the country. He has a way of making his message of we need change, but also that we have to keep hope that change will be possible, relatable to everyone. I think that's incredibly hard, especially in like the divided world of today. I have a close family member who's very, very conservative. We don't agree a lot on a lot of things, but we're very close. And he read the book and he told me afterwards, he said, I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And it didn't change his mind about 90% of the things that we disagree on, but it changed his mind about the death penalty. And I think that the ability to open a mind that might be closed in some ways is incredibly powerful, and hopefully we were able to translate some of that
That's
power.
what you hope films can do. Joel, I wanted to ask you about how do you go about scoring a film which is about empathy and compassion and justice and such vital issues. Were there other films that you referred to as reference, or how does one approach that?
You know, the reference is the same as just the book and Brian's world. Just trying to figure out what Brian's musical world was. But I think for me, we realized pretty early on that the commitment in the movie is just to truth and to just be as raw as there's not a lot of opportunities to put a story like this out there at this size, and so I kind of we knew it was going to be kind of a raw, not the most fun, it's not a popcorn movie, and so just wanted to find a way to bring some beauty and some dignity to these characters and some humanity, which is what I think Brian does so well, and what these three, I mean, it's crazy, just how much you connect with them as like a family member when you watch this movie. So I really didn't know where to start, but Brian's a musician, and he's a super good pianist. He's crazy good, and he's a music appreciator too, and I think music has been fuel for him in his work. He loves jazz, he loves gospel, he loves R&B, soul, all the great African American music that is, ironically such a gift to the world. The whole world is obsessed with it. And, we have this movie that shows how people of color are treated in this country, and there's this sideshow of amazing music that I think has been part of Brian's movement and his work. And so we wanted to try and find a way to bring some of those elements in, but there's also a lot of conversations early on about making sure that it was clear that this movie is not about something in the past, even though it's, it does take place 30 years ago, but nothing has really changed. And so our executive, Nigel Kirkendall, had pointed out she really wanted the music to feel fresh and feel young. And so ultimately, I wrote some music with just a lot of room for interpretation, and we went out and found 4 totally incredible musicians who are currently playing kind of very new, fresh music in the jazz, R&B, hip-hop world. Kareem Riggins, Thomas Drayton, which Thomas is here. Thomas is maybe here, he probably doesn't want to say it, if so. Justice West and Lynette Williams, and kind of just let them take over and just sort of guided to make sure it worked for the film, just sort of turned it over to them. And yeah, it was kind of just a long process of just kind of digging into Brian's world and going out to visit EJI and trying to just be true to him, you know, which I think is probably all of our goals.
Right. Nat, I wanted to ask you, the execution scene must have been a really challenging scene to edit, or was there something even more challenging?
No, I mean, I put that off to the very last thing that I edited. Every time I went to look at it, I knew it was going to be a really special and powerful and very heavy scene, and so I kept delaying, kept putting. So the night before I had to show Dustin my first cut of the movie, I think I was in there till at 4 a.m. still working on the execution scene, and we knew we had that music that we were going to be using as the backbone of it, and but yeah, it was a big challenge, but really, I connected so much to Herbert's storyline, and it just, I mean, still the 75th time watching the film, he still makes me weep every single time I see the movie, and so we really wanted to make the audience feel that. I mean, as the editor, I'm kind of, part of my job is to be that objective person that wasn't on set, that didn't know that this shot took 4 hours to take, and it's really just about, for me, I was trying to really just tap into the first time I read the book, and it just hit me so hard, and so I just wanted to be able to be the cipher to translate that, to help translate that to the audience watching the film. And so we wanted maximum impact for people to feel that, and so, there were things like where, on Herbert's last moment, there was a bunch of extra material of, you kind of saw the mechanics of how they do the executions there, and our producer offered to put me on the phone with the execution expert in Alabama, which I did not really want to talk to him, and
a job you would not want to have.
And as I was working through it, it just became clear that we really wanted to be with Herbert, so those last moments when, we could have been off in the other room seeing the levers flipping and all that, I just saw that there was that beautiful push in on Rob's face, and he just had such an amazing performance, and so we had the yelling going, the banging, and the music, and I just saw that, if we just kind of go inside Rob's head and he finally has that last moment of peace that Walter's been coaching him to get, and if we kind of go out on that high point, it would really have maximum impact.
I want to ask all of you if you felt changed having met Brian and having read his book, and sort of what your reaction was. Maybe you might have known of his work before, but coming into contact with him in the way that you did in his story, how it affected you. Maybe starting with Jamie.
I think how I was affected was actually going down to see Brian in Alabama, seeing what he was doing, seeing his work. I think we should all, that's the thing. It's like when you look at like our Jewish community, and they take trips with their kids, and they make sure that they understand their history and things like that. I think we should really rally, because I know I do it with my kids, and my pops is, like I said, we all make sure that the next generations can know what's going on. And so when I met with him and saw like the place down there was just amazing. But at the same time, heartbreaking. There's one room when you go in, he showed me, and there was like jars of dirt, from the floor to the ceiling, and they were dirt from lynchings, and my pops had shown me this before, but to see it in person, but to see how a matter of fact Brian was, he doesn't allow you to sort of dip into where you're in despair. He says, I have to show this, because we have to know exactly what we're fighting for each day. So, and I don't know if you ever got a chance to hear him speak, but when he speaks, he's amazing, because I know I get a certain way when people say he speaks so well, because, it's always, like a black man, but I said, well, he does speak so well. And he speaks so calm, and he speaks so much truth. And that's the thing that sort of changed me, in that we have to speak the truth. And a lot of times it gets hard because we'll have a moment, and then we'll pull back. We'll sort of like pull back and think like, man, if I just met, hopefully things will just change on their own. So like meeting him, the change in me was to get it going, and meeting him was just like meeting Harry Belafonte, meeting all of these guys who like are are out there, you know, relentless. And so I think if there's anything that I, like I said, took from that is that we don't have to be shy about it. We don't have to feel a certain way about if somebody gonna like us or not like us, or just simply speaking the truth of the situation.
Karen, you're nodding, so.
I think one thing that, one of the many things that's really incredible about the work that Bryan Stevenson is doing is that he's really introducing us as a country to ourselves. He's holding a mirror up to us and he's saying, now look at you. Now see all of you. Embrace all of you. Acknowledge all of you. It's not okay to take bits and pieces, to dissect the parts that you're comfortable with. Go ahead and take a good look. And now we're gonna walk through this and work through this together. I think that is so incredible about the work that he's doing. And I was absolutely changed after working on this film. I knew a little bit about his work before, but delving into the book, this is just one of the stories, the many stories and the many lives that are involved. And I think that once you have this experience, you cannot remain the same. Everyone here now, you have to make a choice. I shared at TIFF that when I was a kid, my older cousin was incarcerated. My dad and his dad are brothers. He's named after my father. And for 24 years and 8 months, I never went to visit him. After we finished, since the time we wrapped to now, I have been twice. It was not easy. It was not comfortable. But I was so completely, I was so completely overwhelmed with just the magnitude of all that comes with this information, this story. And while no one can do everything, although Bryan Stevenson I think is very close, everyone can do something. So this film, this experience, the work, the book, the people, the honesty, the sincerity, the love, it forced me to ask and answer the question, what is your something? And I think that after experiencing this film, it's a question that all of us should really consider asking and answering. What is my something? What is my something?
That is a perfect note to end on. That's something